strike and shockwaves if the United States and Israel attack Iran's nuclear program.
Welcome to the bigger perspective.
The night would begin quietly. Financial screens flicker before sunrise in Tokyo. Oil traders in London notice futures climbing. In Washington and Tel Aviv, emergency briefings move from theoretical to immediate. Then the headline spreads across the globe. The United States and Israel have launched coordinated strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Within minutes, the world is holding its breath. Because this will not simply be a military operation. It will be a geopolitical earthquake, a decision sending pressure waves through energy markets, alliance systems, military postures, and the fragile architecture of international order. The question would not just be what was hit. The question would be, what happens next? Iran's nuclear program has shaped Middle Eastern politics for more than 2 decades. Tehran insists its enrichment activities are for civilian energy and medical research. Israel and Western governments argue that enrichment capacity shortens the pathway to a weapon. Iran is a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Inspections have fluctuated, agreements have been signed and later abandoned. Sanctions have tightened and loosened. For Israel, the issue is existential. For the United States, it is strategic. For Iran, it is sovereignty and deterrence. This is not a simple dispute. It is layered with history, mistrust, ideology, and power politics. Scenario 1. A limited, contained strike. The objective: delay nuclear capability. No regime change, no ground invasion, a narrow military action followed by diplomatic recalibration. Iran's response becomes the critical variable. If escalation threatens regime stability, Tehran may choose symbolic retaliation, but avoid full confrontation. Markets react instantly. Roughly 20% of the world's seaborne oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Even perceived instability can move prices dramatically. Energy futures surge, shipping insurance rises, global headlines intensify. But if escalation remains contained, markets stabilize. The world absorbs the shock. Scenario 2. Regional escalation. Iran maintains a significant missile inventory and regional partnerships. Retaliatory strikes could target Israel directly or US bases across the Gulf. Shipping slows. Air defense systems activate. Civil aviation reroutes. Energy markets do not simply spike, they destabilize. Fuel prices rise, inflation intensifies, central banks face renewed pressure. Emerging economies feel the strain first. Conflicts rarely widen by grand design, they widen through miscalculation. A missile misses its target, a response is misinterpreted, an escalation unfolds that no one initially intended. Scenario 3. A deeper strategic shift. If facilities are heavily damaged, Tehran could conclude that vulnerability invites attack. Instead of retreating from nuclear capability, it may accelerate underground development. The global non-proliferation regime weakens. Regional powers reassess their own deterrent strategies. International rules are tested. When preventive force becomes normalized, global order shifts. The focus begins with oil, but it does not end there. Shipping insurers reprice risk, freight costs climb, supply chains slow. Manufacturing, aviation, agriculture all feel pressure. Households feel it at the pump, then at the grocery store. Inflation spreads quietly. Conflict in one region becomes cost worldwide. Geopolitics can feel abstract. Missiles, markets, alliances. But beneath strategy lies human consequence. Families watching the sky, flights cancelled, schools closed, military families across multiple nations bracing for deployment. What do we know? Energy markets react rapidly to Gulf instability. Iran retains retaliatory capability. Alliances would be tested immediately. What we do not know is how leaders under pressure would calculate risk. A strike on Iran's nuclear program would not be isolated. It would be a stress test of global systems, energy security, alliance credibility, non-proliferation norms, market stability. Wars begin with explosions, but their consequences echo in supply chains, diplomatic chambers, defense budgets, and household expenses thousands of miles away. In an interconnected world, no major conflict is ever local. And when the first aircraft turns toward its target, it is not only the region that holds its breath, the world does too. What are your thoughts on today's analysis? We'd value your perspective. Share your insights respectfully in the comments below. Thoughtful discussion makes these conversations stronger. If you found this documentary informative and balanced, consider liking the video and subscribing for more in-depth global analysis. Until next time, thank you for watching.